Hi there! Welcome to Live with the Paper Pixie. I'm Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the US, and I'm coming to you live tonight from Alpharetta, Georgia. This is episode 235 of my weekly Live with the Paper Pixie. As you're rolling on in, say hello and where you're watching from. Let me say hi to a few of you. Hey, Norlene, thank you. Hi, Margaret, Trina, Donna, Jennifer, Brenda, Rhonda, hello from West Virginia. Hi, Charlene from Colorado. You guys are awesome. Hi, Carla. Yes, it was my spring break last week. I'm not sure I actually took a break, but I was doing behind the scenes stuff. Hi, Nancy, Ethel, Karen, how are ya? Hi, Minda, aloha. You guys are awesome. Well, welcome. I have got some in-color projects to share with you tonight. Murphy is doing, does anybody have a golden retriever that likes to make beds out of anything, even though it really doesn't make a bed when they dig at the floor? It's so cute. But she always seems to think she's going to make a softer bed. So we're going to do the new 2022 to 2024 in colors tonight. And I do have a couple of things to share with you as we jump on in. If you are watching the replay, hello to my replay warriors. Put hashtag replay in the comments so we know that you stopped by. I am grateful to be back. I missed you all last week. I did take a quick spring break between leaving my 21-year career at EY and turning into a full-time Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I'm super excited about that. And let's see, what else do I want to tell you? I do have show and tell from the kids tonight. My husband, Brian's reminding me, I want to wish you all a happy Easter. I'm going to say that now. I will try to remember to do that at the end, but Easter is this Sunday, so happy Easter to those of you who celebrate. Uh-oh, she got the, did you give her the toy? You guys probably can't hear that, but Nolan and I went and bought the dog's toys this weekend, just for fun. We had fun walking through the pet store, and here's the funny from this weekend. Nolan saw the whole cage of parakeets and he goes, chickens! I thought it was so cute. He thought they were little baby chicks. But they had chinchillas there. Anyways, it was fun to walk through, but Kona, our chocolate lab, just got a hold of the squeaky toy. Did she jump up and get that herself? Anyways, all right, so I want to make sure, okay, Brian, you're going to be on camera here. My husband, Brian, is watching for your comments and questions. If you have a question tonight, put a Q colon in front of it, and we will get to your questions at the end of tonight's live broadcast. We will kind of go through them rapid fire. Any questions you have, they don't have to be related to the project. Just make sure you put that Q colon in front of it so that it makes it into our queue so that we can answer your questions. All right, let's see. Oh, Outlander's taking a break on Sunday. I just saw that comment, Norlene. Thank you for letting me know. I will be sad not to get my Outlander fix. I may just have to watch one of the last seasons or something. Okay, for the month of April, these are my host code gifts. For orders of $50 or more with me, please use the host code on orders up to $150, and the easiest way to do that is to use my shopping link, thepaperpixie.com/shop. That will auto-magically add this month's host code to your order. If your order is $150 or more, you're going to want to remove the host code, because you'll earn Stampin' Rewards on orders of $150 or more. You'll still get to pick a free gift from me, but make sure that you remove that host code. If you forget, I'll take care of that for you. But we've got 3 free gifts to choose from this month: the soft succulent half-inch satin shimmer ribbon, that's a mouthful, the loose flower flourishes, and a good old staple tear and tape adhesive. We'll actually be using that tonight. Let's see, what else do I have for you? Last chance products. So now through May 2nd, all while supplies last. I actually haven't checked the last chance list this week to see what else is sold out. Lots of stamp sets have sold out, but you want to visit thepaperpixie.com/last chance. That will take you to that section in the Stampin' Up! Online store. So you can check out, there's discounts from 20 to 50% off. When the last chance list started, there were over 300 items that are retiring. These are products retiring from the outgoing annual catalog, and 131 of them were discounted anywhere from 20 to 50% off. So lots of great deals. If there's items that were still on your wish list, you might be able to grab them at a discount. So be sure to check that out before May 2nd. All right, so I've got a couple of things here. I've got a different scene set up here. I opened up my product shares this week. Those that have already participated in the past or were on my mailing list to be notified, they found out on Sunday. I let my Monday. I let my customers know on Tuesday, and then I opened it up today to the public at thepaperpixie.com/shares if you'd like to sign up for those. I have 3 different options. One is a paper share, one is a ribbon share, and one is a ribbon and paper share. The ribbon and paper share does come with a free gift. They are the Lovely Layers Vellum, and it's actually 60 sheets of vellum. I believe 20 of them have a basic black pattern on them, but you could change this up completely by putting a different color cardstock behind it. I love how they've done this, and these are already cut down to 3 3/4 by 5. Perfect for card front, so that's the free gift if you do the paper and ribbon share. And you will notice the prices did increase a little bit. The papers, the designer series paper prices did increase. There are also more papers than normal, I think, than we normally have in a product share. 17 different papers in the paper share, 11 different ribbons. Now technically it's 10 ribbons, but one of them is a combo pack, so it's 11 different ribbons. And then again, the paper and ribbon share is all 17 papers, 11 ribbons, plus the free gift. So the sign-up deadline for that is May 1st. And if you've never heard of a product share before, it is like what it sounds. You basically are sharing full packages of paper or ribbon or both with a group of people, although I find the people for you and then I divvy up all the... Brian and I work really hard to cut up all the paper and cut up all the ribbon. He is hired because he's so good at unwrapping ribbon and cutting ribbon, so I can't do it without him. So that's the product shares. Great way to get a little bit of a sampling of the papers and ribbons. Then my In Color Club, I opened this up as well. This I only offer once a year at the start of a catalog, and it is a fun way to get 5 months of Happy Mail. Each month you get one of the 5 in colors and all the products that go with it. So I'm just going to quickly run through that. Cardstock, the ink pad, the ink refill, Stampin' Blends combo pack, the Stampin' Write marker, the metallic woven ribbon, the baker's twine, the pattern designer series paper, the glimmer paper, the Tea Boutique cards and envelopes, which I'm going to show you tonight. You're going to get a hand stamped card from me featuring the in color of the month, the matte decorative dots, which I will give you the whole pack at the end of the 5 months. That way we don't have to divvy it up and you can get the full pack together. And then the Tea Boutique designer series paper. It has all 5 in colors in it, so that's a freebie. The Tea Boutique cards and envelopes and the Tea Boutique designer series paper are freebies for participating in the In Color Club. So again, the sign-up deadline for that is May 1st as well. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Lots of information on my blog as well at thepaperpixie.com/incolorclub. I also updated my Stampin' Blends labels. This is an $8 digital download purchase. Now, if you've already purchased this, a perk of purchasing it is you get free updates for the life of Stampin' Blends. So as long as Stampin' Blends are a current product, you will receive the updated labels. Now you'll see I had to sort of move this around. It used to be horizontal, or I should say in landscape. I had to turn it into portrait. It was the OCD in me, but I did add all of the 5 in colors. The natural tones are included on here and all of the retired Stampin' Blends. I think there are actually 60 colors represented on these labels, and these are a great way to label your Stampin' Blends. Let me show you really quickly. You've probably seen this in my background, but this is a great way to find your Stampin' Blends without trying to pull the marker out and read the tiny print on the side. I love these, and I just punch them out with a 3/8 of an inch circle punch and adhere them with a mini glue dot. Now, if you have already purchased these and for some reason you didn't get the email with the update, reach out to me and let me know. I have a plugin that is supposed to email everybody that's purchased them in the past. It doesn't always catch all the email addresses. Now, if you saved your the email that says your order with the Paper Pixie is now complete, the download link in that email should take you to the most current version of Stampin' Blends labels. So make sure you look for that, but always reach out to me if for some reason you purchased these but you didn't get the update. All right, I think that is it for that. And then one quick plug. I forgot to switch to the Stampin' Blends labels scene. So that's the link if you'd like to purchase Stampin' Blends, the Stampin' Blends labels. Okay. All right, so Happy Mail for catalogs. I just sent out a whole bunch of catalogs this week for my current customers that requested one. If you don't already have a demonstrator, or you haven't shopped with me in a while and you do plan to place your next order with me and you'd like to request complimentary copies of the current catalogs, I have the new annual catalogs in the house. So ready to ship. You can request those catalogs at thepaperpixie.com/happymail. All right, I've got show and tell from the kiddos. So Lily, again, loves her Draw So Cute, and this was the latest creations that she made. Last week they had spring break from school as well, but they did go to a day camp, which they absolutely loved. But in the evenings, they were doing Draw So Cute, learning how to draw videos. So she did squishies. That's what this theme is, squishies. And I believe that is from Mariah, she repaints squishies. I'm mesmerized by her videos. She takes fabric paint and gives squishies new life. So she's got some names for them. Willy, which I think is cute. It's like Lily. Willy, Pickle, Cats. Oh, I don't remember. Anyways, super cute. That's what Lily wanted to show you tonight. She is in 3rd grade. And then Nolan, obviously, Legos. So he built this little house yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. But I love the 2 different levels. There's a little hot dog in there, if you can see that. And he's got the police on the side. Super, super fun. He is in kindergarten and he's Lego obsessed. So he may turn out to be an engineer. We will see. It'll be kind of fun to find out what they do for, what they grow up to do. All right. Why don't we jump into tonight's project? I am not going to show it to you ahead of time. We are going to make this on the fly because we're going to do the Orchid Oasis. You guys, I'm trying to remember the names of these in colors. Orchid Oasis right now is my favorite of the 5. So we will create tonight's projects using Orchid Oasis. And then I'm going to show you the other 4 colors. I did those projects ahead of time, so it'll be fun to see them all together. I am a sucker for in-color projects done in all 5 in colors. There's just something about seeing them all together. So we're going to do that. We're going to start with a card. And let's see. Let me bring in the products we're using first. We're going to be using the Tea Boutique product suite. So let me show you a couple of things here. I'm also using the new Stylish Shapes dies. These are sneak peeks. So if you cannot wait until May 3rd to get these products, now is the time to grab them on a starter kit. You can add all the new in-color products, lots of things from the demonstrator only pre-order. Those are a perk for demonstrators as well as those purchasing a starter kit. So Stylish Shapes. So for those of you that were missing the Stitched Shapes dies, this is what we got instead, and I am obsessed. So the outside is like a stitching and the inside is dots. I don't know how else to describe that, but that is a great set of 15 dies. So we are going to be using 2 of those tonight. Then we have the Cup of Tea bundle. This is part of the Tea Boutique suite. This is a photopolymer set, but for those of you that love tea or love giving get well cards, I love the sentiment, take care of yourself. Here are the dies that go with it, and they're so much fun. Lots of fun to work with, but look at the little lemon. The teacups are awesome, the little tea bags. Or I guess tea bags are the little tags on the tea bags. Lots of fun in the set. Then we have got, these are the Tea Boutique cards and envelopes. This is a freebie with the In Color Club, but I just wanted to show you. They're normal A2 size envelopes, so the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but how easy to start with a card base and then a coordinating envelope. So that's what these look like. I'm gonna flip those over so you can see them. Carla, I just saw your comment. The first suite you buy. Yes. Oops, I flipped the wrong way. But how fun are these? The envelopes are already decorated for you. So let me tell you the names of the colors if I can remember. Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis, Tahitian Tide, which I'm laughing because I watched the replay from 2 weeks ago and I called it Tahitian Treat. Remember that Hawaiian? It was like a whole fruit punch, right? Uh-oh. I'm totally flaking. Sweet Sorbet and Parakeet Party. Or chickens, as Nolan calls them, parakeets. And then I'm going to be using the glimmer paper. This is what it looks like. It's an ombre in the 5 in colors. Now you can see the Starry Sky and the Orchid Oasis. This is the Starry Sky. Slight difference here on the ombre, but it's such a pretty glimmer paper. And this is the glimmer paper that this glitter does not come off. So that is why it's allowed in my house. And then let me show you the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. This is it's 6 by 6, 4 each of 12 double-sided designs. So here's one side of the designs. Love these patterns. I love this paper. And here's the other side. Isn't that so cool? Now, again, the hard part about double-sided designer series paper is, oh no, which side do I use? But yeah, that's Tea Boutique. Crumb Cake, Crushed Curry, Fresh Freesia, Orchid Oasis, Parakeet Party, Petal Pink, Starry Sky, Sweet Sorbet, and Tahitian Tide. Okay? Alrighty. Card base here. This is Orchid Oasis. I've got this cut to 4 1/4 by 11, scored in half at 5 1/2. Now I'm going to turn this valley score line into a mountain fold, and I'm going to make sure my edges are lined up because I think I was a little bit off with my paper trimmer here. There's the card base. And then I've got a piece of basic white. This is just 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I'm going to put that on the inside. Now, if you're worried about messing up the note to the recipient, you can wait to glue this on the inside, write on it first, and then glue it in. We'll just get this taken care of now. And then I'm going to put this card base off to the side. All right. The next piece I have is 3 3/4 by 5 of the Orchid Oasis. I've got a piece of the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. This measures 2 inches by 3 3/4. And we're going to end up gluing this down here, but I'm going to do a little bit of stamping first. So I have created a little bit of a template. I took our grid paper, the large 11 by 17, and I cut it down into quarters because I get so much more use out of it. But I made lines at, this is kind of upside down, but I went up 1 inch and then up 2 inches because my paper is 2 inches tall. And so that's just going to give me an idea of where to stamp. Okay, I hope that makes sense. It doesn't really matter where I put this left to right, but I just took a ruler and drew marks here so that I could kind of eyeball where I want the stamping to go. So Orchid Oasis, I'm going to grab the flower bunch from Cup of Tea. Still learning my names here. And then we're going to go ahead. The grid paper also serves as grabbing any ink that goes off the page here. And I'm just going to make this little pattern. Doesn't need to be perfect, but we're going to have a little bit of this peeking out from the paper. Okay. This is a slight case of a project in the catalog. I don't know if you guys ever run out of mojo. Sometimes I do, especially when I take a week off and I haven't crafted for a while. And so the first place I go to is the catalog. The second place I go to is Pinterest. So there was a card in the catalog with the Tea Boutique suite that caught my eye. And so this is kind of loosely, I did a little bit of different with the embellishments, but I loved the way that they had the flowers stamped, kind of peeking out from behind. Let's do that there. There we go. Don't have to be perfect or exact here. You just want to have, you can always bring in your designer series paper to see if you like it. And I like the way that those flowers are on either side of that. All right, so my, I don't know what I did to my thumbs, but my thumbs are not working. I have a feeling I overexert, well, 2 things, I think. From packaging catalogs, that's probably part of it. And the other part of it is I was being lazy last week, and while I was working, I wasn't sitting at a desk. I was sitting on the couch because it made me feel like I was on vacation, and I think that that probably messed with my thumbs, typing while sitting on a couch. So I have always sat at a desk, so I got rid of that too soon. So anyways, my thumbs are like, yeah, they're not happy with me right now. So I'm just using that template again just to get that straight. So I'm lining up those edges. So don't forget, use your grid paper as a bit of a template. And there we go. We've got, whoops, look at how cool. I love tone-on-tone stamping. All right, so there is in color baker's twine. So full disclosure, we did not include the baker's twine in the product shares. Brian and I said never again. After cutting the fan baker's twine in the last round of product shares, it's just not feasible for us from a time and effort perspective to cut up twine. Now the twine is included in the in color club, but that's because we don't have to cut it into 4 pieces. So just want to let you know in case you're looking for that, that is not on, I'm looking for the end of the twine. Of course, on live, I'm not going to see the end of it. There it is. Anyway, so that's the scoop there. The other paper that is not included are the color family pattern papers. That just would bring the price up too high. So if you want those, you'll just have to grab those on your own. All right, so this is what's going to be interesting. Bear with me. It's going to take me a while to tie this bow because of my thumbs tonight. So they're not firing in all cylinders. But I've got my reverse tweezers. I use that as a third hand to hold that little half knot of my bow. Oh, please work with me tonight. Oh, we're good, I think. There we go. Yay. My thumbs cooperated. It's mostly my left thumb because I'm right-handed. Trying to get those loops straightened out here. All right. And of course my paper snips are nowhere to be found. Grab my retired ribbon scissors. Here we go. Oh, I'm gonna need those again. Let's leave those out for right now. They're probably sitting on the other side of the island. All right, so I'm gonna bring this down a little bit and I'm gonna move the bow over to the right, okay? Now, grabbing some, don't worry about it. I've got another pair back here. I'm gonna grab it one dimensional, and on the back of this, I'm gonna first hold that twine. That's gonna serve the purpose of popping up the layer as well as holding the twine into place. And I'll put the rest of my pieces in place here. I can do that with my thumbs, pulling off the backings. I think my hands are angry at me because I haven't crafted since the last live stream, you guys. Today was the first time I crafted. All right, so we're gonna pop that up right here in the center of our card base. All right, now we're gonna do a little bit of stamping here for the sentiment. I've got a scrap piece of basic white, and then we're gonna stamp the sentiment thank you. I'm gonna actually do this twice because we're gonna use the thank you for another project as well. No prize patrol, Debbie, good question. All right, so thank you, we're gonna do that twice. All right. So bringing in the Stylish Shapes dies, we are gonna do the third from the smallest of the circles and the second from the smallest of the squares. And I've got, try to reuse my pieces of Post-it tape. If you've not seen this before, this is what it looks like. It's just a roll of basically Post-it tape. But I use that to hold my dies into place. That's listed on my favorites page. So this one we will center in the square. We're gonna run this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine once to save some time. And then with this circle, I'm gonna put the thank you sort of down and to the right. Okay, and let's see. Bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We definitely need a doggy cam. Kona's hanging at our feet right now. I didn't forget about you, and Murphy's just to the side. She's looking at me like, hey. All right, save that post-it tape as much as you can. I just stick it to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All right, so this is what we're gonna use for the 3D project. So I'm gonna put that off to the side, but I wanted to show you. So that's what you get for the inside cutout from the Stylish, that's gonna be so hard to say, Stylish Shapes dies. And then this is gonna be for our card. And then I've got a piece of the Orchid Oasis that's cut to 1 5/8 by 1 5/8. And that's just gonna layer right behind this square piece, the die cut piece. Okay, so liquid glue for that. Yeah, this font is to die for. I love the font too. I always wonder whose handwriting it is at Stampin' Up. Sometimes it's Sarah Douglas's husband, Sean's handwriting. All right, so there is that. Let's get that to focus. And then I'm gonna grab, these are the 2022 to 2024 in color matte decorative dots. That's what they look like. They're sort of an ombre. And I'm gonna grab my take your pick tool. Kona doesn't know what to do. And I'm just gonna pop that right here in the lower right corner. I do go a little overboard with dimensionals, but I'll do 4 dimensionals on the back of the sentiment, sort of at the top and the bottom, so then the twine can kind of feed through it. And then we're gonna kind of move that loop-de-loop out of the way and pop this up. And how is that for a quick and easy in-color card? So wait until I show you the other 4 colors. Same layout, a little bit different designer series paper pattern, but love that. Love Orchid Oasis. It's such a pretty blue purple. I have figured out where my in colors fit in my rainbow. I've put them up there. I haven't taken them out of the plastic yet, but I will be doing a blog post soon with my rainbow order, and I'll update the labels that I use for, I just create this little tag thing. But just to show you really quickly, I'll just show you the Sweet Sorbet. That's gonna get stuck with me, but it's between Poppy Parade and Mango Melody. Perfectly nestled right in there. But I have these labels for free that I'll update with the new in colors and post that when I share my rainbow order. So there's the card. Now wait till you see how easy the 3D project is. So we are gonna go ahead and do the back side. So let me show you what I did here. I took a 6 by 6 inch piece of the designer series paper and I cut a 2-inch strip off, or basically I wanted to start with 4 inches by 6 inches. That 2-inch strip I cut down to 3 3/4. And that is what I put here on this card front. So we're using the back side of that pattern, and we're gonna create a little treat holder. And actually, in the treat bag, will you look for a little Snickers treat? I think they're like Snickers squares. Can you bring me the whole bag too? Because I know they're gonna ask.
That's the last one.
But I just showed them that. Have you guys seen these Snickers almond brownies? Okay, yeah, there's only one left, if that means anything. I found these at Target. I'm assuming they're just a new Snickers thing and they're probably an all year round thing. But I've had these for a little while trying to figure out a fun treat holder for them. They're really good. These are the almond brownie and dark chocolate squares. They're delicious. Just take my word for it. It's worth buying them if you can find them. All right, so I have done a pocket like this before, but I want to say that the starting dimensions were 3 3/4 by 5. This is 4 by 6. This is a great size. You can get 6 of these out of a 12 by 12 piece, but wait until you see how easy this is to put together. It's just a little treat pocket. I'm going to use tear and tape. Tear and tape is sort of your friend for this project. And I'm going to show you where I'm going to put it. We're going to put it on the pattern that we're going to have on the inside. And I'm going to run it along the edge. The direction doesn't really matter because the pattern on the outside is not directional. But if you had a directional pattern, you just have to decide which way you want the treat holder to go. So you'll get to see when it's done. And then I'm running tear and tape along those edges, stopping at that. I did this edge first, okay? Now here's the trick. You want to start to peel off the tear and tape partially on the top and the bottom ones. Just kind of fold those down because we want to be able to pull them out. This is a lot like a sour cream container, only we're not pinching opposite, if that makes sense. I almost just poked myself with the take your pick tool. And then I'm gonna pull, whoops, that ripped. I was too strong today. I pulled the backing off completely of this side here. So I'm gonna take my Snickers treat, I'm gonna put it portrait, and then I'm gonna fold the left side, and I'm doing this kind of loosely, then the right side. Just lining that up there, okay? Now I'm pinching this so I'm holding that little Snickers treat bar. I'm gonna pull this off, okay? Now what we can do is pinch. Now this is kind of a tight fit, but that's what I think makes it really cute. So I'm pinching those edges together, and then I'm gonna pinch. This side's a little bit harder to do, but go ahead and pinch. And that tear and tape's gonna pick up, and then you have the super cute treat pocket. So quick and easy. Now, I'm gonna show you something fun on the edges. Gonna bring in the Simply Scored here. And remember when we used to have the crimper with Stampin' Up? This kind of does that. We're just gonna use score lines here. And I'm just gonna do 3 score lines at 1/8 of an inch. So I'm kind of lining it up at the 4-inch mark, and I'm doing, what is that, 3 7/8, 3 3/4, and 3 5/8. This doesn't have to be perfect. But I'll just show you, you're gonna get this really cool, almost like you crimped it, okay? And then, I don't know, you could you could go anywhere along here, but somewhere where you can just keep track that you're doing about every 1/8 of an inch. And just kind of, you know, it's 2 layers of paper there, but super cute, right? And don't worry if the pocket doesn't look perfect. I kind of love the fact that, you know, when the recipient gets it, they can just tear into it and get to their treat. All right, so let's decorate this. We've got our little thank you here. I am going to attempt to tie a bow again. But where did I put the twine? Somewhere, oh, it's hiding underneath the rest of them. All right, so I'm gonna tie a bow first. No more excuses. I love giving you projects to use up your stash of designer series paper. I'm not going to call anybody a hoarder, but we all like to hold on to our designer series paper. I should say buy more than we can use in our lifetime, right? But I love finding projects that use just a little bit of it, but also have no waste and are quick and easy to put together. So no excuses, right? All right, let's do that. Ooh, you guys have good questions. We'll get to those in just a few minutes. All right, and then the other thing I did was I die cut the leaf piece from the dies. Hold on. From the teacup dies, we got this piece here, which is intended to die cut this piece, but I thought that was a really pretty element with the glimmer paper. Love that, as it won't focus. There we go. And I'm gonna kind of layer that along the left here, kind of nestled in the words thank you. So I'm gonna be kind of strategic with where I put glue. I only wanna put it on that little edge, just a little bit of glue there. And then we'll nestle that. If you're worried about getting glue everywhere, grab your silicone mat. I'm gonna layer that there. Grab another one of our matte dots here. And I just realized I used the starry sky. Did anybody catch that on the card? The good thing is they coordinate so well together, nobody will notice. I was like, I still have all of my Orchid Oasis matte dots. That's because I didn't use them. All right, so I'm gonna move this bow almost all the way clear to the right here. I'm gonna grab 2 dimensionals. I'm gonna make sure that's kind of centered here, and then we're gonna pop those dimensionals to hold the twine in place. I'm gonna put those kind of close together because this kind of tapers off to the side. Always easier to put the dimensionals on the treat, holding that twine in place, and then we're gonna pop that up right there. And how quick and easy is that? So fun, so cute. Great way to use up your designer series paper, but also make somebody's day as well. So that holds that little Snickers treat. You do a different size to hold a tea bag too. That would be really cute. All right, so are you ready? Let me show you all of these together. I love this. All right, so we've got our Orchid Oasis. I'll put that down here, but look how fun these are. These all have different designer series paper patterns. Again, that tone on tone. But I absolutely love, and that pop of twine. I love stripes with floral patterns, just that juxtaposition. There's the inside or the back side of the paper. We've got the Tahitian Tide. Am I saying that right? Nope. Yes.
I think so.
Tahitian Tide. So fun, so cute. Parakeet Party. And then Sweet Sorbet. Fun, fun, fun. So if you are interested in a fun way of getting all the in colors, check out my In Color Club. There's this guy. Love the way that those look together. So that was tonight's projects. The plan is the cards will post tomorrow. The treat holder will post on Friday. I don't think it needs a separate video tutorial to go with it, although I might do a photographic tutorial just so you can see where the tear and tape goes, but that's the plan. Cards for tomorrow's blog post, the treat holders for Friday's blog post. Again, if you're looking for that treat, the Snickers bars, I did find them at Target, but I'm sure that you can find them in other places as well. So let me go ahead and tee up the Q&A here. All right, let's see. I'm just gonna do Q just in case you guys forgot the colon, because sometimes I get confused between colon and semicolon. Get this out of the way there. All right. Hello, Diane. Let's see. We're gonna see Q's here for a little bit. How's it feel not going into work anymore? Thank you, Dabberdew. You know, it's interesting. I have worked from home for the last about 10 years. So I was strategic in not going upstairs to my office. My day job office, my home office was upstairs, and I've tried to stay out of that room just for the last week or so. My very last day of work, I put in 16 hours that day because I just couldn't transfer enough information to my team. So I was definitely burned out from Friday. But yeah.
So, Gail Malone said she purchased the labels. How can I get an update? I gave her your email address, but just...
You took a screenshot? Gail, I will look at your order and make sure that you get your download link, okay?
And I gave your email address.
Awesome, thank you. Let's see. Good question. How do I store or organize my 3D projects? Kelly, I actually try to give them away. It's been a little bit difficult with the pandemic, but usually teachers get stuff, the bus driver gets stuff, my nail technician gets stuff, my UPS driver gets stuff. So that's typically what I do. If you're asking about how I store maybe the tutorials for those are all on my blog. And Brian and I will be working on not an overhaul, but we're going to try to make sure that we organize them in a way that will make it easy not only for you to find, but also for us to find as well. Would I be willing to do a demo of the scan and cut? Yes, Linda, I have done a demo in the past. I will say I'm not an expert at it. I think the Papered Chef is a big time expert. She has fantastic video tutorials. She's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so be sure to check out her stuff. But I mean, she'll tell you, she's got so many tutorials. I even think she has a class on, I don't think it's Skillshare, but one of the other sort of training websites. So go check out the Papered Chef. She's really, really great at teaching. I mean, there's things that she shares how to do that are just amazing. They make my jaw drop. So lots of fun things. Oh, I love the next question. Ellen, why do you use Pixie in your name? So my business is actually named after my mom. Her name was Pixie. So let's see, we lost her to colon cancer back in 1997, but she was a fabric crafter, and I grew up, I mean, she also dabbled in creative memories just before she passed away. And when I was trying to come up with a business name, she worked with fabric and I was playing with paper, and I thought, you know what? And Stampin' Up's all alliterative, so I thought the Paper Pixie would be a catchy name. So yeah, it's named after my mom in honor and in memory of her. So great question. Oh, that's so sweet, Carla. Thank you. The squishies picture, yes. So Raquel, I owe you an answer to your email. I'm not ignoring you. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I actually have a coil binding system at home. I'm an office supply nerd. So I used to actually get it coil bound at either FedEx, Kinko's, or Staples. They're usually, it depends on, I don't know, it depends on what they charge, but $5 to $7 to coil bind it. It is a lifesaver because I love being able to open the catalog and then it just lays flat. It makes it really easy to look through, especially when the annual catalog's around for an entire year. That thing gets pretty beat up, but having the acrylic or the acetate covers, you can get them laminated as well, but I don't go to that level of effort. But yeah, coil binding, and then you can just take it. What they do is they basically cut the spine off, and then they punch it, and then they put the coil in. So I think having a coil binder like I have is way overkill, but I coil bind a lot of catalogs. So how do I contact you for the blends label? Oh, Janice, shoot me an email at julie@thepaperpixie.com, and I will, can you take note of Janice as well? I don't know your last name, Janice, but I'll look at all the Janices that ordered. Let me give you a pip. You got it? Okay. All right. Let's see. Are the squares and circles from the stylish dies different sizes from the stitched shapes? Ooh, that's a good question, Paula. I don't still have my stitched shapes, I don't think. There's way more sizes in the stylish shapes. So I don't know if the ones that are similar size are the same size, but that's a good question.
There's actually another question about that later.
Okay. Do you do the color charts for the in colors? Color charts for the in colors. Kelly, if you can give me more information about that. There's so many different charts that I've seen out there. I don't think I have color charts, though, for in colors, now that I'm thinking about that. The stylish, all right, how much different are they? Okay. I'm trying to remember. It's so funny. Once something has retired, I usually move on to something new. So I always forget what they used to look like. I know that they had squares and circles. I don't think that I still have mine, or I've pulled them for my retired sale, but I cannot remember. So Deb Johnson for the new In Color Club, thepaperpixie.com/incolorclub. Okay. You can also go to thepaperpixie.com/blog, and you'll see that blog post from today. Or as always, shoot me an email, julie@thepaperpixie.com, and I'll get you information. Do I plan out what you make or just start creating? Linda, good question. I usually start with some sort of idea first before I start cutting into paper. Now, that being said, with my 3D projects, typically what happens is I have an idea in my mind, but I have to use paper to finalize it. So I will typically pick my least favorite colors of cardstock, the ones that I have the most of, really, and I don't feel as bad cutting into that paper, or I'll use old retired paper or something along those lines. But this advice was given to me, I can't remember if it was my friend Lydia or my upline Brian, I think it was both of them, to create for the trash can, because there's something magical that happens when you're practicing and you're sort of, trial and error and learning things as you go. So paper's cheap. I don't necessarily feel terrible putting it in the trash. Obviously really pretty paper, yes, but I try to use paper that I won't feel so bad if it ends up in the trash. What does the outside edge of the dies look like? It's more of a stitching edge versus the dots. So it's more like the stitched shapes dies that if you remember what that edge looked like. Can you show a close-up of the negative from the sentiment cutout? Yes. Let's see if this will work. Oh, that's not going to look good. Let's go back to this. And I'll hold this up here. See how it's just a little bit more of a line image? That's the negative. Okay. All right, let's see. So the In Color Club is $62 per month plus $8.50 for shipping. Gotta love with the USPS shipping increase in prices, but that will ship in a priority mail bubble or a padded flat rate envelope. So yeah, 62 plus 850, which is $70.50 total. Per month, for 5 months. That's right. When you cut down your score lines, sometimes you cut on the right, left, or down the center. It all depends on the project, Margaret. So if I am needing to line, it's hard to describe. I sort of make the decision depending on the project. Most times cutting right down the center of the score line is fine. But there are some paper projects where it makes sense to cut the score lines away just because of the way that they go together. But you can usually stick to cutting right down the middle of the score line and you should be good 99% of the time. Larger 3D projects. Dino, thank you for your suggestion. I will keep that in mind. Would it hold a Ghirardelli? Linda, yes, I believe it would. It definitely will, because the one that I made similar to that, it was back in December of 2019. It will definitely hold one. The piece of paper I started with on that was 3 3/4 by 5, and that's a perfect fit for the Ghirardelli squares. So yeah, this will work as well. My office upstairs is actually our guest room as well. So Brian and I were actually talking about, he and I really need like a co-working space. So we were talking about maybe turning the guest room into half guest room, half co-working space for both of us, because he doesn't have a desk to work at right now. I don't know how he's done it for so long. I did it for 1 week and I'm like, my thumbs hurt, which is a weird thing to have an affliction for. But it was probably just the way that I'm so used to sitting at a desk. Like I had a proper desk, a proper chair, and I was sitting properly. I don't do that when I'm sitting on the couch. But the dimensions of the 3D project, it was 4 inches by 6 inches starting piece. And then it'll vary in size depending on how much you kind of fold it over, but it's about 2.5 by 4 all folded up, and then maybe about a 1/2 inch, a little less than 1/2 inch thick. And you can absolutely make it bigger with a 6 by 6. I had one, but I tore into it. I started making this one with a 6 by 6, and it was way too long for the Snickers treat that's in there. Let's see. Diane, so I have a industrial paper cutter. So because I do product shares and we cut lots and lots and lots and lots of paper, I invested in an industrial stack paper cutter. So I just use that to trim my catalog. Great question. The purpose of the stitched lines on the negative. So Barbara, that's basically to create a frame for your project. So one of the things you can do is by layering the different shapes, you can actually create a frame that has stitching on both edges. So you can do a wider frame, a narrower frame, depending on which size shapes you pick. But yeah, you can also do like a little peekaboo on the front of a card. So lots of things you can do when you've got the stitching on both the cutout and the negative and the positive. Now that you're creating full-time, how do you come up with project ideas? Well, Nicole, today was the first day that I created a project since I've been a full-time demonstrator. I don't think that my workflow necessarily will change, other than I'm going to try to be a little bit more intentional with creative time, because once I sort of get the juices flowing, they'll kind of keep flowing. Now, when I was working full-time, it was basically like, I don't know, I was making stuff literally right up until going live and just trying to fit in little pockets of creativity time. So I'm going to be more intentional about my creative time, because it really is my favorite part of being a demonstrator, is actually making the project. So, and you know what happens sometimes as your business grows, you start to shift more into the business side of it. But I really want to make sure that I have lots of time to create as well. So great questions tonight. Do we have any other last minute questions? Brian's reminding me to wish you all a happy Easter. Let's come back to here. Thank you so much for joining me live. I will be live again next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for episode 236. And I'd see your question really quick. Let me address that really quickly. Dabberdu, will I be offering to-go classes? I don't have plans for that right now. I'm not going to say never, but I will be doing things that I'm going to be able to scale, and I won't be able to be offering to-go classes with cut and prepped product. I just don't have the time to do that. So, but stay tuned. I will probably be offering maybe some PDF tutorials and things like that, but I will let you guys know. So anyways, I will be live again next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, episode 236. That is what, April 20th? Today's the 13th. Yes, the 20th. Thank you so much for joining me live. If you enjoyed tonight, you got some tips or tricks that you can use. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future tutorials. If you're watching on Facebook, remember to like and follow so you can catch what I'm sharing next time. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed week, and I will see you next Wednesday. Take good care. Bye.